Peace, what's good? How y'all doing? This is ZaZa Ali. Today is Wednesday, January the 15th, officially Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Definitely sending love and positive energy to his family and to everyone that has been touched by his legacy and his life. Just as I sat down to do this video, some trucks pulled up outside of my house. There's something happening next door where they look like they're digging up. 3 or 4 trucks just pulled up with a trailer. Not a trailer, a tractor. It looks like they're going to have to do some sort of work next door. So if you hear trucks in the background, that's what it is. And actually, let me put on something in the background just to kind of blend that out. 963 hertz just sent me this solar wireless battery frequency of God, of the gods, I should say. I had intended on doing this video live. I was going to go live on YouTube, but I have to work my energy up to be in that space because of what people like to call trolls and just all the energy that comes with people that don't know you having access to you and thinking that they can say whatever they want to say. Or being disagreeable in a disrespectful way, because I'm so focused right now on my energy and my mindset so that I can consciously create my reality. I said, let me just sit down and do this video. So I have to deal with that, and I don't have to prepare myself to deal with energy that is foreign from, what I'm really trying to be and be around. So peace and love, first of all. I pray this message reaches you all in the best of health, spirit, and mind. I don't know if I said that already, but I'm doing really well. I have started my 2020 off with a bang, really in the lab more so than anything, studying and creating content and writing in a way that is suitable for, where I am right now. I just finished a blog, and I'll be posting it today called, let me pull it up. It is called The Power of Sound, Frequencies for Meditation. And I have wrote a post on my social media pages just talking about the different hertz frequencies and how they resonate with certain attributes or certain, if you're dealing with guilt or fear, if you need to clean up energy, or if you are trying to manifest abundance, or if you are, physically ill. Certain frequencies resonate with certain aspects of, human beings, the part of you that needs to be cultivated. So I wrote a post about that, and I got a lot of messages with questions about, how do I know this? Where did I get this stuff from? How do you know if frequencies are real and stuff like that? So I wrote a blog, and in the blog, I talk about the science of what we're talking about when we talk about vibration, and how sound really is the instrumental element to everything that is vibration, energy, frequency, and then consciousness, which is the mother of them all. So I just kind of try to write that in a simple way that's not too scientific and, over anyone's head. But at the same time, kind of answering some of those questions that people ask me. So that'll be posted later on today. I just got to go back through and reread it and edit it and then put it up. I'm really focusing more on putting a lot more writing out in order to attract a certain type of audience, readers for one, and people who are really looking to expand and to learn and to grow. So the power of sound, and a lot of people talk about music, and rightfully so, and how music is, so powerful, and how music can bring everybody together. And it's true, and I'm a lover of music, but music is under the branch of sound and of frequency and of energy. So in the same way, or in the same wavelength of the power of music, is the power of the voice, the power of speech, the power of words, right? And it's equally as powerful, and in certain cases more powerful, depending on what message is being conveyed through the tongue and what message is being conveyed through the music. So just keep that in mind, and I kind of go into that in the blog as well. and just, I'm going to be putting out more writing again in order to attract, a broader audience and people that are a little bit more in alignment with introspection and studying and reading, etc., because that's what I'm about. Speaking of which, I'll make a few announcements before I get into my subjects. I wanted to talk about some things that are kind of trending or popular. I'm a few days behind on a couple of these things, but I don't really do videos, when it's trending. Sometimes I do, depending on what it's talking about. But most of the time, I'm going to kind of sit back and see how people are responding, get more information, and know what I'm actually talking about before I just come on video and talk just because it's something is trending. I've had people tell me before, like, why didn't you talk about this a week ago or 2 weeks ago when it was trending? Well, because I didn't want to talk about it then, or because I didn't have enough information then, or because I was in the wrong type of space to discuss that type of topic. So the situation with Lonnie Love, the situation with Young Jock, Iran and Australia, these things that have kind of been happening, all stuff that I think are important, things that are important. So let me sit down and just kind of talk about this and talk to the family for a minute. Again, my intention was to go live, but I'm not in the mood to deal with that, with a certain type of energy. And I've also had people that have come on my videos and said, I wish you wouldn't get so distracted by the trolls. I wish you would block out the negativity, which is damn near impossible to do. You know what I'm saying? But I just killed two birds with one stone and just do the video off the head, so I can talk to you guys and be clear and concise. And then if you want to join in the conversation, you can do so in the comments. So a couple of announcements real quick. The first thing, this is my final proof of Change Your Mind from Lack to Abundance. I have it in my hand. If you ordered the workbook, we will be shipping out on January 25th. It is a beautiful, very feeling, in-depth workbook that is focused on really self-introspection and learning how to see why you've attracted certain things, kind of going through the chronology of your life experience, being able to unveil what your master teachers are, or certain life patterns and life lessons, what they were supposed to teach you, which will help you to figure out what it is that you are actually supposed to be doing and working on and attracting in your life. So it's interesting that I'm promoting this workbook on my social media pages, and I've had people that have reached out to me and asked me for like a book that will help them to develop a spiritual foundation, or to help them to kind of get unstuck. Well, this is the book. And I don't know, if they felt some type of way because I'm promoting my book, but that's what I am supposed to be doing. Number one, because I'm an author. But number two, that is the direct intention of what this workbook is about. Change your mind from lack to abundance. Most people on this planet have a lack-based consciousness. And that's everything that I'm going to talk about today, is talking about consciousness, which is the root of all of our reality, and really the only thing that there is, different planes of consciousness, and how we are attracting and repelling on an individual level as well as on a collective level when it comes to situations like Iran and the fires in Australia and all of this stuff that's happening to our planet. It is a direct reflection and a reflection, and not a prerequisite, a spinoff, that's not the word I want to use, but for lack of a better word, of human consciousness. It's all related and it's all relative. So you ask me for resources, I give you the resource which I have put together. This is 134 pages, full color. There's absolutely no fluff in this workbook. There's no pages that I filled just for them to be filled. Every single page is very intentional. There is a lot of study material in here. There is a lot of my writing, as well as the mindsets of other great scholars and scientists, as well as a very specific question and answer and self-introspective intention in, you being able to work through this workbook in order to attract the things that you want, and also to understand why you are at the space and time in your life right now. Understanding emotions and the magnetic factor. Water starts to mold when it stands still. Make peace with yourself. Forgiveness, the superpower. Unfinished business. Dominant vibration in matters of the heart. Four rooms honoring all of you. What is your master teacher? The mirrors of the soul. Where is your center? Prosperity consciousness, imagination and abundance, the power of visualization, the law of attraction, and you create your reality. I'm so proud of this workbook, and I'm so thankful. Can you guys see the pages? I'm so thankful to everybody. I know the light is kind of shining off, so you can't really see. But I'm so thankful to everybody who has supported this so far, everybody that's purchased the ebook copy, everybody that's purchased the physical copy, as well as my other two workbooks, The Science of Self and The Science of Sex. The Science of Self, if there was some people who, I had some books get lost, one of my shipments. So if you are one of those people, I'm in the process of cleaning that up myself. And then we just got a new shipment in, so we're shipping out some of the other orders that came in at the end of the year, right around the Christmas holiday push. So those books will be shipping out this week, as well as The Science of Sex. If you've ordered that book, all of those orders have pretty much been filled. But Change Your Mind from Lack to Abundance. It's on sale right now. The workbook is the ebook version. You can get it right now, and if you order it, you'll get it sent to your email. And the physical copy is on sale for $28.88. After the 25th, it will be going back up to the regular price. But you can see it's a big book, and I'm just super proud of it. And I'm so thankful to everyone who has supported. It means a lot to me that you guys actually, respect my research, respect my study, respect my writing. And I think I'm going to do a live Q&A for everybody that has purchased the workbook so far. And we'll just, I'll do it in a classroom setting, and you guys can kind of talk to me directly and ask me questions about things that are in the workbook, or things in particular in your lives that you are struggling with or working towards. So I'll put the link in the description to get a copy of the workbook. Also, last thing, is this the last thing? Yes, the last thing. I have a life visioning group coaching session on January the 25th. It's only open to 10 people. And actually, we've had a couple of people purchase it last night. But the life visioning group coaching session is going to be a class that I'm going to do once a month. It is particularly for people that are members of my Alchemy Cipher, which is a private group of people who will work with me directly. But the life visioning group coaching session is going to be about identifying, defining, editing, focusing, and envisioning, and then manifesting your desires. And really talking about, a lot of people are talking about frequency and consciousness and the law of attraction, but there's a lot of people that are really struggling with actually bringing their goals and aspirations into manifestation. And so it creates another, mental and spiritual hurdle that they can't get over, the fact that they're not actively being able to bring the things that they desire into manifestation. Oh, I did a vision board, it didn't work. Why? You have energy that is sitting beneath the surface of, your mental and spiritual and emotional consciousness. And those things are in the way of you being able to produce, what you desire in your life. So we're going to talk about all of that. It's a 90-minute group coaching session, January 25th. We have 10 open spots. I don't remember how many we've sold so far, but once we hit that number, it'll be closed off, and there won't be any openings until next month. And I'll be doing this once a month, specifically for my Alchemy Cipher people, in order to help them to, really start to consciously create their reality. Yeah. And then the Alchemy Cipher group this is the last thing. That was the last thing. This is the last thing. The Alchemy Cipher group membership, I just, reframed the group, and it's not going to be run through Facebook anymore. It's now run through my website. The Life Visioning Coach session, one per month, a monthly newsletter covering health and well-being, resources, and current events, 2 guided meditations per month, 20-minute sessions, group meditations, 1 guided yoga class per month, access to all of my online content, video library, workshops, and select courses, and then a group chat, which I am thoroughly enjoying right now. where we all do like an instant messaging through our phones, and I get to talk directly to my people every day. And then a few other perks as well. That's also $28.88 per month. You can also get information on that, about that, from the link below. Okay, so let me drink some water real quick with my whistle. Thank you to everybody again who has supported my workbook. I'm really appreciative of the support. It really means a lot to me. And again, I'm going to do something special for you guys. All right, so first thing, Young Jock. This video that has surfaced of these two females that were riding in the back of his car. He was doing a ride sharing, driving, for ride sharing. And I watched a video of him this morning, and he was just basically explaining, like, he's kind of multitasking in order to, have different streams of income. And at the same time, kind of veering outside of his comfort zone and doing things, challenging himself to do different things. This is a real thing. Like, first of all, the one female who was in the back of the car, I don't know who that is. I have no idea. I didn't go and look and see who she was because she posted the video. To be so disrespectful to a man that is obviously trying to make a living for whatever reasons. People are saying, oh, he was doing it for advertising, or I don't even care. Like, if he was just specifically working a job in order to take care of his bills or to take care of his family, for somebody to get in his car and to be that disrespectful of him, it really kind of underscores this current reality that we live in, where people are just so disrespectful and have absolutely no filter. You know what I'm saying? And no ability to understand when is the right time and when is a wrong time. Now, if he had pulled the car over and started calling her out of her name and disrespecting her, and she put that video up online, then everybody would probably be talking about him, or there would be an ongoing argument about why he was justified in doing that versus, why he shouldn't have done that. But the bottom line is that I don't know why women in particular, we have to learn how to properly interact with men and to understand when we are getting outside of a respect zone, so to speak, and being mindful of how we talk to anybody, but in particular men, especially when we're in a close proximity like that, because he probably could have put hands on those women or put hands on her and really hurt her. And it's ironic that, we had this video of this sister in Houston with the whole ride share thing and talking about, being careful about watching how you move, making sure that the Uber car is the Uber car or the Lyft car is the Lyft car. There's a lot of conversation about security and about women being careful about how they move right now. So here's the flip side of that coin, is that you have this ignorant female in the back of somebody's car being blatantly disrespectful for absolutely no reason at all, other than to put a video up online and get some likes and get some attention, and to talk about somebody who she does not know, who's actually doing you a favor and doing you a service by giving you a ride. I don't care if he's making $1.50 or $50 from the transaction. It does not matter. You obviously either don't have a car or don't have access to a car or need to get from one place to another. So I just think there's a climate and a culture now where people are starting to recognize it's one thing for somebody to just be half cocked online. I deal with that all the time. I have people that, just for whatever reason come at me in a very disrespectful, or I won't say all the time, but it does happen where people are disrespectful. Or I've noticed in the past couple of weeks, I've had conversations, and these have been men that have been trying to challenge me intellectually on whatever, science or something dealing with the mind, but being unnecessarily disrespectful because they want to try to one up me. But it's now this stuff is going from, okay, it's just a comment in a DM or it's a comment under a video. Now people are actually carrying themselves like that in real life. No woman should ever haul off at the mouth and talk to a man like that. No man should talk to a woman like that, granted. But like as women, we're in this whole conversation now talking about being security minded, being careful about how we move. You know what I'm saying? Watch out for these men, watch out for this van, watch out. Like there's a whole conversation like this. In what world does this fit into that conversation? In what world is it acceptable for a woman to be disrespectful to? And then the fact that you recognize who he was, like this isn't just even some random Joe, which would have not been appropriate either. But the fact that you recognize who he was, you know that he's a celebrity, you know that he has another job, he actually does radio, he does other things. So it's just like, and then there's this other thing where, and I know this because I experienced it. That's why I handle social media with a what is it, a long tooth comb, or I handle social media from a distance. I deal with it as I need to. People think because they have access to you that they know you, or that they can talk to you any kind of way, that you're like actually not a human being. And that's what I saw in that video. Like this chick, because she might hear him on radio or because she might follow him on social media, that he's not like a real actual person. Like, why would you get off on demeaning somebody like that? Why would you get off on disrespecting somebody like that? I just don't understand this climate. I don't understand how the lack of compassion that people have, the disrespect, and I'm not ever going to understand it. I don't want to understand it, and I don't want to be a part of it. But I just, women have to be very careful, especially in this climate now where we're talking about Me Too movement and being secure and, sex trafficking and whatnot. We have to be careful about how we carry ourselves, and not just in that instance. Once you put something on social media, now it becomes a part of the collective consciousness. So now you are, as this ignorant, foolish woman, just trying to get attention on social media, you are adding to the climate and the conversation about how disrespectful Black women are, about how the breakdown between a Black male-female dichotomy, about how Black women don't respect Black men, about how, this whole loud, obnoxious, disrespectful, all of the stereotypes that have been imposed on Black women. Well, now you're feeding into that. And so now some weirdo Joe Blow psychopath, and the internet is full of them, you know what I'm saying, who is looking to repeat that narrative or looking to prove that narrative. You are giving him ammunition, and there's no telling where he might take that ammunition and release it on who he'll release it on. And I know people may think that's far-fetched, but no, this type of stuff is happening all the time. You see these kids and these, like the girl in New York who faked her kidnapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, was she inspired by Jussie Smollett? Like, we literally live in an environment right now where there are so many people that are so interested in going viral, interested in attention, things that have absolutely no substance or no merit, and being a part of a bigger conversation that doesn't mean anything to anybody, that they are following a bunch of mindless automatons, right? So I just really wanted to say that, and much love to Young Jock. And I saw the video he did, and he didn't like try to sauce it up or make any excuses or go out of his way to make it seem like it wasn't what it was, or none of that. Like, he totally was like, look, I'm just trying to make some extra money, do something different. You know what I'm saying? And like, I really, really, really respected that, because a lot of people who are not secure in themselves, particularly men, will try to be like, try to frame the narrative to make other people feel comfortable, or frame the narrative for the sake of their pride or whatever. Like, he didn't do that. He was totally honest and totally open about it. And I just respect that so much. I have a whole different level of respect for him. The way he handled it in the video I saw today, but also the way he handled it with those women in the car. I would not have been that calm. I'm not even gonna front. You're in my car, if I'm doing a ride share job and you get in my car and you recognize me as ZaZa Ali and you start recording me and asking me those type of questions, no, I'm pulling over, get your ass out of my car right now. You know what I'm saying? So I have the utmost respect for him, how he handled it, how he stayed emotionally in the right space, in the right pocket. And please believe all work is honorable. And I'm talking about work where you actually go out and are trying, to do the right thing and do right by your family and take care of your seeds and to take care of yourself and to put your best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? So I want all of the brothers in particular to hear me say that and to acknowledge that if you are, whether you're doing ride share or you're self-employed or you have a labor job or you do sales, or you know what I'm saying, you're in the corporate world, like whatever it is, like I respect, and we should all respect the hustle of getting up every day and putting your best foot forward in order to take care of yourself and to take care of your family. So much love to young Jock, and to women, and particularly to the millennials. Y'all need to stop following these fools. Change the narrative and shift the narrative on how we are treating one another and how you interact with people. Real life is not social media. It's not like, clickbait, you know what I'm saying, where you say some random comment online. That type of stuff will get you hurt. So be mindful of how you move out into the world and the energy that you put out into the world. The second thing, Lonnie Love, I'm probably going to have to do this video in 2 pieces because I don't want it to be too long. So I'll talk about Lonnie Love, I'll stop, and then I'll come back and do a second video and talk about Iran and Australia and the collective consciousness. So Lonnie Love was on The Real, and she, I don't even remember what the question was, but she has gone viral now for her very boisterous summation of why black men cheat and tying it back to slavery and talking about black men having money and power and being disrespectful. And it's come to light that she's married to a white man, which I don't care about her. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a judgment about that. But I do think that her choice in her partner and her being that, her choice in her partner and her being that vocal and viral against black men, there's something to that. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's not to say she doesn't really love her husband. I don't have any personal opinion or judgment on her life choices, etc. So I was looking at a text message from my son. So first of all, her energy was very defensive and also in a space of attack, which kind of underscores, who she is, how she sees the world, and how she moves in the world. It was very unnecessary, especially to just pinpoint that to black men when men across races, period, cheat, women cheat. It's not a particular thing to black men. It is a human element. It's a part of our, growing and developing as a society and as a culture, beyond race, beyond money. I know plenty of broke dudes, you know what I'm saying, that cheat on their girlfriends. So, I really didn't like her energy. I didn't like the way she came off. It was just disrespectful. It was unnecessary. And it said way more about her than what it said about black men. Now, why this is important and why I'm talking about this is because I always read the comments when stuff like this goes viral to see who resonates with that type of mindset. A lot of black women were cheering her on. And these are obviously black women who probably have never been involved with a man with money or power, or maybe having, a man with money and power versus a man without it. But a lot of these women ain't never been with the type of men that she's talking about, that are still on the sidelines cheering this madness on. So you are in alignment with that energy, which means that you are going to continue to attract that type of energy. Not a black man with money and power. No, we're talking about levels of consciousness. She reflected a level of consciousness which is bitter, which is a little bit vindictive, which had vitriolic energy in it, which was very low vibration and disrespectful. And so because that is the energy that she resonates, obviously that's the type of man she's going to attract. And I don't know if she could have been talking about experiences of her friends or other people that she knew in the industry. I don't even know if those were her particular experiences or if she was just speaking in general. But as far as her level of consciousness and her perspective, she's going to continue to attract that same type of frequency. And it doesn't, so what, she's married. She can attract that type of energy in random conversations on the street, in her interactions on social media, in the people that she interacts with in her business and in her daily coming and going. So this is a lot bigger than just her, being disrespectful or giving her opinion of black men. This is her state of mind. This is her state of consciousness. So because this is her state of mind and state of consciousness, she's going to continue to have experiences that reflect back to her in her life. And you can already see it happening with a lot of, I saw an interview Willie D did, and one of the brothers, I can't remember his name, but he was like, he said something about her weight and her physical appearance. And it was like, I thought it was a little unnecessary, but again, you put yourself out there with that type of energy, you can expect that back. It's the same thing with Lizzo and this false sense of reflecting confidence, this new age sense of confidence. Lizzo does not reflect confidence. She reflects insecurity. She reflects a very low vibrational energy. She reflects a lack of self-love. She reflects total disrespect when it comes to having a platform with millions of followers, a lot of your followers being other races, other nationalities, a lot of women that would be considered overweight, maybe unhealthy, a lot of children, right? And the fact that you go online and talk out the side of your mouth and be disrespectful and not taking the appropriate responsibility for having that type of platform with millions of followers, she's a very internally broken person. And I don't need to be a psychiatrist or trained, have a PhD in psychiatry to be able to look at her and to be able to assess that. I, as a woman with maybe 100,000 followers on my different social media platforms, know what it feels like for a handful of those or 1% of those people to be disrespectful or be in attack mode towards me. And it is not a good feeling. And I don't care what the reason for it is. I don't care if they are talking about how I look or if they're talking about something I said or something that somebody else said about me. It is not a good feeling. So I can guarantee you, if you have millions of followers and maybe tens of millions of followers, when you put all your platforms together and you got people in your making videos about you, writing blogs about you, in your DMs, in your comments, constantly disrespecting you or degrading you, that is not a good feeling. And nobody can tell me otherwise. And I don't know any human being that welcomes that kind of energy to them. So the fact that she continues to act and behave and speak in a way that continues to attract that type of energy to her means that she's in alignment with that type of energy. So spiritual laws. So for Lonnie Love, I see another woman who is very internally confused. And again, not really accepting the role and responsibility of the platform that she has. She could have acknowledged that there are men are like that, because there are, but there are also men, even men with money and power, that are very forthright in the respect and love that they have for their women, like LeBron James, like Stephen Curry, like Dwayne Wade, and a number of, I could name 20 if I just really sat down and thought about it, probably more than that. But there are plenty of black men that go out of their way to be loyal. And I don't know if it's a public versus private thing, but why would we assume anything other? Why would we assume that they are putting on a front for social media and in the background cheating or doing them wrong? Why can't we assume that they are really what they're representing? Why can't we assume that they really do love their wives and that they really do put them first and that they really are family men that are focusing on taking care of their own? So the fact that she couldn't be balanced and talk about good black men and good fathers and, you know what I'm saying, the fullness of our culture is not a reflection of black men. It's a reflection of her. And brothers, we have to be careful, all of us as a culture, that when stuff like this happens, that we don't get into cocking back our triggers and, going off and going on a tangent. And now we're attacking black men, black women, and talking about overweight black women and being disrespectful, because now again, we're creating another level of consciousness. There's a new fight going on. There's a new war going on. Now there's a new fire to put out. And every time we're putting out fires, we are creating other things that are going to happen in our culture and in our personal lives that are in alignment with that energy. But we're also moving the energy away from what we should be focused on, which is consciously creating our reality, which is what I talk about in my new workbook. So, while I look at Lonnie Love, and again, I see a wounded bird, you know what I'm saying? I see a woman who is not coming to the confidence of herself. And it's again proof that you can have money, you can have fame, you can have the attention of the world and the spotlight on you and still be a wounded bird. So I had to bring my screen back up. So, in the bigger scheme of things, we got to learn how to, when we hear people say things that we feel like are disrespectful or are not, you know what I'm saying, good for the culture, we have to learn how to address those things without turning into savages. People like Lonnie Love cater to the savages. People like Lizzo cater to savages. And I'm not saying there aren't good things about them. I'm not saying they're not beautiful. I'm not saying they're not talented. I'm saying they are emitting language and energy and a level of consciousness that gravitates towards a certain type of energy. And there's repercussions for that. It's a spiritual law. So we have to learn how to, when we hear people talk like that, how to address them like the weirdo uncle that comes to the family reunion that everybody's side-eyeing. Nobody's, you know what I'm saying, putting on gloves and trying to beat this dude up. Like, everybody kind of knows he's a little slow. Let's handle him carefully. Watch him when he's around children. You know what I'm saying? Don't let him wander off by himself. You know what I'm saying? But we still love him. He's still family. But, like, we go into full-fledged war mode when we hear people like this talk out the side of their neck. Like, let's learn how to have intelligent, emotionally mature, spiritually based conversation where we can tell our daughters, nah, that's not a good look. She's bringing negativity towards herself, and in the end, it's going to backfire, in which it already has, and probably will continue to backfire, because everybody that disrespects her, she responds. Everybody that, now she's doing interviews and talking about it, and other people are doing videos that talk about it, so it like ripples out into the atmosphere, and it creates a different dynamic in the collective consciousness. So, number one, no, I absolutely do not agree with what she said. I do not support her in what she said. Her energy is very non-appealing to me, and even if she has a white husband, like, I'm sure that energy is resonating in her relationship. Her issue is not with black men. Her issue is with herself. So you can rest assured that her husband is experiencing that madness in one way or another, and everybody in her life for that matter. I thought it was very disrespectful. I thought it was very distasteful, and I thought it was very untrue in the bigger scheme of things when it comes to what black men are. I know plenty of good black men. And there's no reason at this point, at this stage in our, in our evolution as a people, when we talk about for the culture, moving the culture forward, we've got all these platforms, we've got black women making all of these strides and making all of these moves. What point is there for you to use your platform in order to tear somebody else down? You're not really moving forward. You're not progressing the culture. You're creating a schism, a ripple in the culture that's going to backfire. And when it backfires, it's going to backfire against you and all of the people that are in alignment with that type of message. So, I wish her well, and hopefully, she'll learn from this experience and she will grow, and she'll think twice next time before she makes that type of blank statement without really qualifying it in order to use her platform responsibly. So Young Jock, Lonnie Love. I'm going to stop the video here. I'll post this video and then I will come back and I'll do a second video where I talk about the other things. All right. Make sure you support if you appreciate the video. I love you guys' positive comments. They mean a lot to me. It really means a lot to me when you actually support what I do. And much love to everybody that has purchased this workbook so far. I'm extremely proud of it. A lot of love and attention went into creating this. And I'll put the link below and you can get your copy right now, ebook or paper book, workbook format. All right. Peace and love. ZaZaAli.com.